Hi, my name is Adler, and today we're talking about the 5 must-know facts if you want to come to work in Japan as a software developer. So I've been working in Tokyo for almost 2 years, and there are some facts that I wish I knew before I came here. Some of them are good, and some of them are a little bit not what I expected, but most importantly, if I knew them earlier, it would definitely help me stay calm and be mentally prepared for what's coming. Number 1. You don't need to know any Japanese to get a job in Japan. In major cities like Tokyo, a lot of foreigners are moving here every year. English and other language support is a must-have in companies that are recruiting foreigners. It's even not that surprising if you find companies that are communicating entirely in English. So basically, the only thing you need to do is to find the right recruiters that can help you locate those companies. However, there will be more options if you can speak a little Japanese. In addition to the biggest companies that you can see on the news, there are still a huge amount of small startups out there that are building interesting and challenging products. They probably don't have the resource for language support, but they would be great options if you're looking for a new opportunity. Personally, I would suggest learning some Japanese after you get your first job here. It would be really helpful for your career in the future. Number 2. It's possible to get a job while you're still overseas. There are some big major companies that are pretty well known for actively recruiting foreigners, such as Rakuten, Mercari, or Line. Basically, they have already established the flow for recruiting from overseas. They are totally okay with interviewing online and helping with sponsoring a working visa while you're not in Japan. However, it's important to keep in mind that some companies would like to see you in person before they make a decision. So be ready to fly to Japan for an interview. They might even be able to sponsor the trip depending on how much they want to meet you, which is also a good opportunity for traveling. Okay, number 3, it's not too hard to get a working visa from the government in Japan, as long as you can prove that you are qualified. One common qualification is to prove that you have a bachelor degree. Basically, the government is not being too harsh on the tech industry. For other industries, I'm not too sure, but in general, they only care about basic qualifications like you don't have a criminal record and you are actually educated. Here's the tricky part. You don't necessarily have to have a CS degree to get a working visa for a software engineer job. In my experience, as long as you can prove that you are qualified, they don't really care which bachelor degree you have. Another thing is that the cost for a company for sponsoring a working visa is not that high. This is probably not true in many other countries like the US or the UK. You might hear stories like someone couldn't get a visa in the US because the employer finds it really troublesome. Compared with that, in Japan, I have never heard of that story before. Number 4, most IT jobs are in Tokyo. This might not be a problem if Tokyo is already your favorite city in Japan. However, for some of those hardcore Japanese fans, they might want to live in cities with more traditional culture like Kyoto. Yes, cities like Kyoto, Osaka, and Fukuoka do have a number of opportunities. However, that number compared with the number in Tokyo might be a little bit smaller. If you're not too picky, it's not a problem. But if you prefer having a whole bunch of different options when looking for a new opportunity, you might find it easier if you're in Tokyo. Okay, number 5. It will be challenging to get a job outside of IT if you don't know any Japanese. This is for those who plan to come to Japan with their partner or friends. There are a lot of cases in which people come to Japan to work as a software engineer, but their partners are not working in the IT industry at all, and they don't know any Japanese either. I do know some people who can find a job in design or other fields that require specific specialties, but most people who come to Japan who don't know any Japanese will choose to teach English or become a recruiter. These are the most common options if they want to start working immediately without learning any Japanese. However, if they want to keep moving forward on the same career path that they have already chosen, for example, being a chef or working on finance or marketing, it's possible that they need to spend at least like 1 or 2 years studying the language before before they can reach the business level proficiency. So if you plan to come to Japan with someone else, I would suggest planning this beforehand. Okay, I hope you find this video helpful. Let me know in the comment section if you have any questions. If you like this video, don't hesitate to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you next time.